preseason matchups and exhibition matchups. But this one will count towards the overall record. But we're speaking with Coach Holmes earlier this week. A 1-1-1 record right now with a loss against the South Dakota School of Mines 2-1 to open up their inaugural season. Then the following day, they go into a 2-2 draw in a thrilling overtime matchup against the Hard Rockers from School of Mines out of Rapid City, South Dakota. And then just earlier this week, they traveled down the road to St. John's University for the first ever Stearns County battle in a rivalry that we hope will last quite some time between the Johnnies and St. Cloud State University. And the Huskies were able to pick up their first program victory with a 2-1 win over in Collegeville, Minnesota. Again, just a couple of minutes down the road here from St. Cloud State University. So they're riding high. There's a lot of firsts this season. First ever win streak, first ever game at home, first ever game against Morningside. And when there's so many firsts, it just builds more excitement as the season goes on.
Yeah, it absolutely does. And you can tell it's what Coach Holmes is kind of all about, is building excitement, especially around the game of soccer. I mean, he echoed this statement a couple of times this week, Sam, that he's much more keen to winning a 4-3 soccer game than he is to winning a 1-0 grind fest. And, he said that a couple of times is, he wants excitement in the game of soccer. So I don't think this excitement about the first home game, all these firsts this season is too much to handle for him. I think that you get, we talked to him probably what should have been maybe a 15, 20-minute conversation the other day turned into an hour-long conversation because he just loves to he's just excited all the time. He loves to talk. He loves to just be very outgoing and things like that. So I think excitement is something that doesn't scare him too much. I think he's got himself prepared, and I think he's got his team prepared as well for all these firsts coming up this year.
And as we're getting ready for the opening kickoff here between St. Cloud State University and Morningside College, we were talking with Coach Holmes earlier this week, and we're going to see a lot of players in the rotation. We saw it against St. John's as well. A lot of players that did not see a lot of minutes at their previous colleges, or actually I should say did see a lot of minutes, but who knows where they're going to fit in the lineup here. It's all just a feeling out process. So we're going to see a lot of new faces for St. Cloud State before we get into the GLIAC schedule. It's coming up next Friday on September 17th when they travel to Grand Rapids, Michigan for Davenport University, a very good program over there. Then the rest of the regular season is GLIAC matchups, and those are the games that really count. St. Cloud State knows that, so they want to see what rotations are going to fit best, who molds better with who, and who can stop the ball in between the pipes better than who, and who can they trust the most on the field. So this is a good feeling out game for St. Cloud State.
Yeah, you mentioned the thing between the pipes as well, which I think is maybe one of maybe the most important positional battle to watch. I think overall we all know these guys can play, but Coach Holmes talking to us earlier this week that normally he wants to have just one guy between the pipes, and right now he's maybe not sure who that guy is. He may have to go into this season with some type of rotation. Today it's going to be Dawson Fairchild that'll get the start of this game, but he got the start against St. John's on Wednesday as well and only played one half. So we'll kind of see how the minutes shake out here and what is, that final – I mean, it's a game. It's on your schedule, right? It's not an exhibition game, but it's really that final tune-up before you get into GLIAC play. So, yeah, we're going to see a lot of names tonight, and we'll see who, kind of separates themselves in this final opportunity before that game against Davenport.
Dawson Fairchild got the start against St. John's University, played the first half. Matthew Janke came in the second half. Both netminders were great. St. John's only put up one goal, and we're looking at that game and speaking with Coach Holmes, and he made it very clear that the score could have differed. They had a lot of chances, St. Cloud State did, against the Johnnies. But, again, a new team, a lot of new players playing in their first regular season matchup. A lot of tension in there as well. And he feels once this team starts to get deeper onto the season, they can mold together. You might see them see a lot of success soon.
Yeah, you got to wait for that chemistry to build up a little bit, Sam. And I think that's really where this team kind of needs to go. We see the talent on paper, right? So it's all about figuring out, like we said, which 11 is your best 11 on the field, and then how you want to deploy those players, what you kind of want to do, how you want to attack, how you want to defend. And this is kind of that last chance to really iron out those kinks before you get into conference play, which is, the meat of college soccer, right? It's conference play. So it's going to be a very interesting one here tonight.
Going through starting lineups here at Husky Stadium. Let's do the same. Blake, run us through the Morningside Mustangs making their first appearance here at Husky Stadium.
Yeah, Morningside in between the pipes. It's going to be Bjarne Huth, a junior goaltender out of Bad Vilbel, Germany. you're going to hear a lot of German names, especially that eastern, that German portion of Europe here. They're also going to start Marcus Madsen in the midfield, forward Sander Coburg also in the midfield, Noah Anneser, who leads their team in goals. I'm sure we'll hear his name quite a bit tonight. Victor Baker in the midfield. Moritz Lush is a midfielder as well. Robin Tomolo up at forward. Another midfielder in Noah Yortisma. On the back end, we're going to see Jakob Franmuller, and then a couple other forwards, Kai Schwargel and Johannes Lang for Morningside.
And that's the starting lineup for the Mustangs coming into Husky Stadium for their first ever bout with St. Cloud State University. As for the Huskies, here's what head coach Sean Holmes and assistant coaches Zach Nyberg and Grant Bell are sending out to the program today. Nolan Pratumwan is getting the start at D, as well as Brian Alexander. There with Noah Kantorowicz and also Vuk Mastelovich. Up in the midfield, it's Emmanuel Iwe, who's had a phenomenal season so far for St. Cloud State University. Colin McSweeney will be in the middle as well. Eddie Sadie is in the starting lineup, as well as Zenadine Croyton, who scored the program's first ever goal. Was back in Rapid City, South Dakota last week for St. Cloud State. Charlie Pritchard's also in the midfield. Jacob Morlock will help in the defensive duties for the Huskies. And as we talked about, Dawson Fairchild gets the start in between the pipes for the Huskies as we get set for kickoff. Getting ready for National Anthem and that kickoff, so we'll send it back to break here on 88.1 FM KVSC. Yeah, but you got a couple of minutes. They're still doing starters. Yeah, just keep on us, and we'll let you know. You got a little while. Did that? Okay, cool.
Perfect.
Did that sound like it made any sense?
Our pregame?
Yeah.
You sounded like you knew what you were talking about. I felt really dumb. Did I make sense at any point?
Half of those topics, I was like, oh, where am I going? I was like, where? I forgot what I was going to say. I was like, oh.
Well, I know my voice sounded fine, Sid, and the words made sense, but the words sounded fine. I don't know if it made sense to anyone that knows soccer, though. We'll see, yeah. No, I forgot it's 9/11.
Yeah.
Surprised there's this many people here. Oh my. You got some nuts for that. No chance I would have done that. We couldn't get someone to
101.1 FM KVSC. Sam Getzinger, Blake Tyson. However, you may be joining us, whether it is KVSC or the NSIC network. We thank you so much for being a part of your Saturday night. Set for a fun one, Morningside College and St. Cloud State University getting ready for the opening kickoff. St. Cloud State will start with possession here in the first half. The Huskies in their white kits with black numbering on the front and the back and a St. C logo on the left shoulder of their kits. Morningside coming out in their black kits, all black in the top of the uniform and on the shorts, and long black socks as well. St. Cloud State traveling right to left to start off this first half from Husky Stadium. Emmanuel Eway will get things going, and we are underway for the home opener for St. Cloud State men's soccer. It's the Huskies and the Mustangs, and Jacob Morlock will start things off in the Huskies defending third, going cross-pitch to Kantorowicz. Good crowd on hand here today, Blake, for the home opener, and we've talked to a lot of people, including Coach Holmes. I know we said a lot. We talked to Coach Holmes, but Coach Holmes, he loves to talk, that's for sure. But he was saying, we may not expect a lot of people here at Husky Stadium at the beginning part of the season because people don't know what the product is going to be right away. And I think they'll learn quickly that they're going to see some good soccer here.
Yeah, they absolutely will. I think they'll see a team that, like Coach Holmes said, an aggressive team, an attacking team, a team that wants to score, put on a show for its fans, wants to put a couple of goals in the back of the net, which, makes soccer more enjoyable, especially for the casual fans. So hopefully today, like you said, Sam, a pretty decent crowd on hand, maybe more than you would expect for a home opener, especially not in conference play. But, maybe this crowd continues to grow if that good product comes out on the pitch.
Just under 44 minutes left to go here in the first half. Still scoreless, a lot of back and forth play in the middle third of the field here at Husky Stadium. Throw in from the far touchline. Back and forth, Emmanuel Eway trying to get his first bit of action. Culling McSweeney right in the middle as well, patrolling the field. Good pressure there put on by Brian Alexander in the middle third, and the Huskies will take it back for Eddie Sadie and the defense here and their defending side. Morlock playing it up for Charlie Pritchard. Pritchard just couldn't keep the ball on the touchline, the correct side. So we're going to have the first throw in here for Morningside College.
And those are some of those unforced errors that'll just drive you crazy right there, Sam. Charlie Pritchard, he had a lot of time and space on that near side touchline right around midfield and just couldn't keep that ball in play. And again, that coughs the ball back up. And in a game like soccer where possession is king almost all the time, you cannot have those little mental mistakes.
Now Jakob Fraunmuller looking to get in a foot race with Charlie Pritchard here on the near side for St. Cloud State. Mastelovich creating a turnover here for the Huskies. Back in their defending third. Alexander, some contact. One Mustang does go down. The ball does go out of play. This looks like it'll be a free kick coming here for the Mustangs. We're going to spot it down on the football field at the 26-yard line. And we'll see what the Mustangs can do from here. Taking the free kick is Noah Anneser. Anneser from the far side, a pack of Huskies and Mustangs right at the top of the 18. This kick coming in towards Fairchild, and Sadie heads it out of the way right in front of the 6. Now the Mustangs will look to add on some pressure.
Yeah, nice job there by Sadie to get that one out of the way. It cleared quite a few bodies and got well inside that 6, or well inside the 18, near the 6. And so good job there by Sadie to just get that one out of the way. He didn't really have to jump up for it and clear that and alleviate some pressure.
Kantorowicz playing it to the far side of the field for Brian Alexander. A lot of space here for the Huskies to do some work in their defending third. Mastelovich cross field for Morlock. Morlock working on the left side, taking his time, getting it up for Eddie Sadie right in the middle third. And this is a good clear taken away by the Mustangs and Noah Anneser. Anneser sending it down towards the way of Dawson Fairchild. Mastelovich will calm things down and play it back up for Alexander on the far side of the pitch in front of the benches. St. Cloud State setting up shop on the right side of the far side of the field, I should say, for their bench. Morningside on the left side. 41 minutes left to go here in the first half. Still scoreless. No shots on goal as of yet. No shots in general for the Mustangs in St. Cloud State. Kantorowicz in a foot race, and now it's one-on-one. And Kantorowicz, a nice defensive play to get around one Morningside attacker and Robin Thamala. And we're going to get, it looks to be a red card on Kantorowicz, stopping the fast break.
And I think that is very interesting, Sam. There was certainly contact, and I think Kantorowicz certainly committed a foul, but for a red card to come in just under 4 minutes here in the 5th minute of this soccer game on a play like that, the scoring opportunity was certainly taken away, and I think it certainly warranted a whistle.
Emmanuel Iwe trying to plead with the referee that's out here. Kantorowicz obviously has to come off the field, showing visible frustration. It might be an early night for Kantorowicz. Now we're going to have a good chance here for Morningside College in the first 5 minutes of this matchup between St. Cloud State and the Mustangs. Dawson Fairchild setting up shop inside of the 6.
Looks like that wall right in front of that kick is going to be either 3 or 4 Huskies. Morningside pushing up about 2 or 3 of their midfielders. So they'll have, 4 or 5 guys right up at the top of the 18.
Kantorowicz is making his way back to the locker room. It's got to be tough for him. His first official home game for St. Cloud State University, the Minneapolis native. And lasts about 5 minutes, red card. And he has to watch the rest of the game from the bleachers.
And he started and played through the full length of all 3 games so far this season. So that's a big loss here and a big opportunity for Morningside early on. You got to imagine from this position, you're putting this ball on net. I don't think you're trying to swing this one in looking for any type of, driving players towards the net.
Victor Becker setting up about 25 yards away from Fairchild. Hard shot right into the stomach of Fairchild. Good save. First shot on goal for the Mustangs. And now the Huskies have to see what they can do. Eddie Sadie playing back in the spot of Kantorowicz now that he is out with the red card. Pritchard playing it upfield. Look at the speed by Emmanuel Iwe charging down the left side. Iwe setting up right in front of the left corner. Now back for Pritchard. 40 yards away from the goal of Bjarne Huth. Huth gets the ball played back for him with 40 minutes left to go here in the first half. Still scoreless between St. Cloud State and Morningside College.
Sam, to go back to that opportunity from Becker, you'd think that he'd probably want another look at that. Dawson Fairchild really didn't have to move much. He dropped down to a knee to haul that ball in, but maybe took a step or two over to his right. But it was not a very good bid from not too far out, just about 20 yards right there for Becker.
Marcus Madsen, plenty of space in the Morningside defending third. Plays it up to the right side for Fraunmuller. Fraunmuller looking to go downfield. Pritchard, some good defense, but it's taken away by Morningside once again. Mastelovich clearing into the middle third. Mustangs regaining possession. And St. Cloud State, a big emphasis for them is to make smart passes and to get that pass completion rate pretty high. High expectations for Sean Holmes, especially as we get closer to the GLIAC part of the schedule.
Yeah, that was a number that he was really emphasizing in our conversations with him, Sam, before this game is, it's right around 60-70% for a lot of these guys. And, he says, hey, go watch Premier League guys. They're up around 80-90%.
Emmanuel Iwe looking to go 1-on-4 with the Morningside Mustangs through the middle third. Has some help from Zenadine Croyton. Now Iwe into the box, centering. This one's for Patumwan, and that one is kicked away by Huth. Good chance there, set up by Emmanuel Iwe in St. Cloud State University.
Yeah, Patumwan right there coming in. Looked like he got the right foot on that one, and he'd like to go a little bit more against the grain, I think, on the goalkeeper, and Huth didn't get a ton on it, but a great opportunity, probably the best opportunity from either of these two teams early on in this game, just 7 minutes in.
And it took a long time to set up, and that's due to Emmanuel Iwe charging all around the field. Probably ran about 70 yards in a circle just to keep St. Cloud State with good possession of that ball. Now Jacob Morlock helping the Huskies get into their attacking third. Pritchard playing it back for Sadie, now in the spot of Kantorowicz, who started off this game. Mastelovich standing on the 50, playing it in deep, and that is turned over into the feet of Morningside. Mustangs looking to calm things down. They sense the energy coming towards the way of St. Cloud State. Mustangs playing it back to Huth, standing at the top of the arc at the 18. Madsen walking up the right side, now playing it up towards the center. Good look here to find the feed of Sander Kohlberg. First time we'll say his name tonight. Still 0-0 between St. Cloud State and Morningside College. 37 minutes left to go here in the first half. Alexander on the right side, booting it up, looking for Emmanuel Eway. And we've seen a lot of this season so far, Blake. Eway just staying in between what looks to be the 40s on the football markers. And once he can have an opportunity for a fast break, the Huskies want to feed it to him.
Yeah, and that's what we saw right on that last opportunity, right, Sam? And when we talked about it, you said Eway probably ran about 70 total yards with that ball, driving 1-on-4, and he was eventually able to beat his man down this near side of the football field, or this, on the soccer field, right along the football sidelines, right down to the touchline. So, yeah, I mean, he's certainly the guy you want to get with the ball. The speed is very evident. The difficult thing here is going to be how can St. Cloud State manage to muster some attack down a man.
Morningside, a couple of through passes eventually taken away by Morlock in the Huskies' defense. Now let's see Cullen McSweeney charge upfield. McSweeney looking for the fast break for Eway. Eway up the left side, trying to get around Matson. Matson, good job of getting in front. Now the fancy footwork by Eway gets around Matson. And some help by Morningside College clears this ball away. We'll have a throw in here for St. Cloud State.
And I don't think that's the worst-case scenario either, Sam, for the Huskies here. Again, you're down that man, so when Eway does get the ball up, and if one of these Morningside defenders pokes it out of bounds, you get that throw-in, that allows everybody else to start to catch up into the offense. So you got to maintain possession off the throw-in, but it gives you an opportunity for the rest of those guys to come up and get in the play.
Robin Tamala being aggressive here for Morningside. Huskies able to take it away thanks to Eddie Sadie. Playing it back for Dawson Fairchild, now Mastolovich. Over on the far side of the field, Cullen McSweeney in the middle. A name that you won't see him come off the pitch too much.
No, you will not.
Mr. Reliable there in the center.
Yeah, Mr. Reliable. He was a guy that Sean Holmes highlighted in our conversations as well. He's just an Energizer Bunny type guy, very, very strong player. And yeah, you're going to see him a lot this season for St. Cloud State. I know we said we might see a lot of guys today, so maybe his time on the pitch today is going to be a little bit shortened, but once we get into that GLIAC schedule, you'll be seeing a lot of McSweeney.
Batum one setting up Zadine, and that one just lands into the aggressive Huth, playing at the top of the 18 there, Blake. Good chance there for St. Cloud State, looking to do everything they can to get inside of that box and try to get some scoring opportunities on.
Yeah, they're certainly trying right here, Sam. And again, it's being down that man. Looks like they started this game in a 3-4-3, and it looks like now they're down right now, kind of running almost a 1-4-4 of some sense.
34 minutes left to go here in the first half. Scoreless between the Mustangs and the Huskies. Mustangs working up the left slide just slowly, now entering the middle third. Good through pass, finding Moritz Lush, and now the Huskies have to scramble. Shot from Lush finds the back of the net, past the diving Dawson Fairchild, and the left-footed strike by Moritz Lush, the senior midfielder from Bielefeld, Germany, gets the Mustangs on the board 1-0.
Yeah, very nice job there from Moritz Lush. That'll be his second goal of the season, Sam, but really that was just a defensive breakdown. It looked like it was Pritchard here on the near side of the field that really just, he let Lush blow by him in a beautiful through ball, and that's kind of really all she wrote. Pritchard was able to get back, force Lush to pull up a little bit, and have to, kind of pull up and not be able to walk right in on Fairchild, but still nonetheless he had a great look at the net, and he beat Fairchild to the near side.
That goal by Lush coming 10 minutes and 20 seconds into this first half. It's 1-0 Morningside here in the first ever home game for St. Cloud State University at Husky Stadium. Couldn't ask for a better night. Mississippi River just on the outside of Husky Stadium. Keeping things cool here at St. Cloud State University. Now the Huskies need to answer, and they did, Blake, against St. John's. They were down 1-0 in that game earlier this week on Wednesday. And it only took less than a minute for Emmanuel Eway and St. Cloud State to come back into that game.
That's just what I was going to say. It was a very quick turnaround in less than a minute for St. Cloud State. But you see Morningside here with more opportunities.
Lush again, and he's got two. Moritz Lush, right place, right time. And he's got two in a matter of minutes. And St. Cloud State is trailing 2-0 here in the first half.
And just some defensive breakdowns on that back line, Sam. And it's difficult. And again, that was, I believe, Pritchard's man here on the near side, and it looks like, we got a little huddle up here for the Huskies that are on the pitch right now. Again, being down that man this early in a game, it does make it very difficult, especially when one of those men is a backline player for you, right? Mm-hmm. So it makes it changes everything. It changes the communication. We talked about Eddie Sadie moving back, playing on that back line and kind of filling in a little bit. And just it's breakdowns in communication, breakdowns defensively on that back end right now with guys not being in places that they're probably supposed to be in.
Second goal of the game for Moritz Lush. That one coming 11 minutes and 18 seconds into the first half. About 58 seconds from his last goal. 2-0 Morningside here in the first half. He was waiting on the back door. Now let's see what the Mustangs can do again. Applying pressure in the right corner. Robin Tamala playing it back for Fraunmuller. Fraunmuller, good cross, just a little too much oomph on it, and it's back over to the left side of the field. Alexander kicking this one away from threat. Now throw in coming here from Morningside. Playing it back to the top of their attacking third. Now Morningside in the middle. Marcus Madsen. Lush getting a touch. 2 goals in the first half already. 2 coming in a minute. Now Colin McSweeney looking to charge the offense here for St. Cloud State. To Alexander, now playing it back for Mastolovich. And the defenders will look for a good time to cross and get it upfield for St. Cloud State. Morlock here on the near side. Playing it up towards the middle for Petrumwang. That was Zenadine Croyton. Morlock in front of the St. Cloud State bench. Looking to cross, turned over once again. Morningside just doing a great job of getting in the passing lanes. Now Lush coming on the weak side. He's got some space one-on-one with Moritz. He's looking for number 3. Good saves by Fairchild. You got to be kidding me. And Morningside able to get into the back of the net once again. I think they will say the referees will stop it. So that goal does count. Had some confusion there in front of the net. Dawson Fairchild, I don't know how he saved the first 3 initial shots.
Yeah.
And then the last one was just hammered home on the rebound. Looked like there was a lot of contact on Fairchild. That's why I was thinking maybe the referees would call that one off. But no, it's 3-0 Morningside.
Yeah, 3-0 early on. And again, Sam, I was kind of pointing it out to you right there. Lush was the guy streaking down on the weak side of that play, the near side of the pitch once again. And he's finding the seams right now on this back end for St. Cloud State. Looks like he kind of splits right between Pritchard and Eddie Sadie almost every time, and that's where he starts to kind of crash down into that area. And there's just a seam, and they're finding him, and the initial opportunity came from him off the left foot. Fairchild made a great diving save to prevent the hat trick. Then he mentioned it a couple of more on some second and third chance opportunities, and I think it was the 4th shot that finally went in for Morningside.
Noah Anneser is credited with the goal. And a lot of bodies right in front of the 6. Had some contact, and it still does count for Morningside. Anneser gets his first. Moritz Lush has 2 in this game as well. 3-0 for the Mustangs in the Huskies' first ever game here at Husky Stadium. That will count towards the overall record. Croyton playing it back for Charlie Pritchard. Pritchard now to Morlock, and the defending third here for St. Cloud State. Pitch and catch with Colin McSweeney. Gets away from Morlock. Now back up to the top of the box in the left corner. Cross pitch for Vuk Mastolovich. Mastolovich had some motivational words for St. Cloud State after the second goal given up. Now he'll try to help spring ahead. Emmanuel Iwe is taken away once again, but Petrumwang doing a great job of getting that ball back for St. Cloud State. And the Matamidi Zephyr gets it taken over. A lot of contact, and we do have a Mustang down in the field right at the top of the arc here. Petrumwang is able to get up. That looked to be Marcus Madsen that was there. He's limbering a little bit, but he'll stay out on the pitch. No substitutions have come yet for either side.
Yeah, it looked like Petrumwang just played that one out a little bit too far out of himself on the dribble there. And you mentioned the contact. It was Madsen, Sam, and those two both just collision course set for the ball, met at the same time, and a little bit of contact. So they'll give the ball off here to Morningside.
Just crossed the 30-minute mark here in the first half. Morningside striking early and often in the first with 3 goals, 2 by Moritz Lush and 1 by Noah Anneser. Dawson Fairchild has had his work cut out for him here in the home opener. Madsen now seems to be just fine through pass. No one's looking for Lush once again. Tries to stop it at the end line. He can. So that will be a kick coming here for Fairchild. And the Huskies will regain possession.
And Lush right now playing with a lot of confidence. He put that hand up for Madsen to get him with that through ball probably about 10 or 15 seconds before Madsen actually finally saw it and recognized, hey, this guy's, again, got a nice lane here on the left side of the defensive formation for St. Cloud State.
Morlock up the near side for Charlie Pritchard. Pritchard looking to go for a long through pass for Emmanuel Eway off of the head of Madsen. Keeps it into the way of the Mustangs. Now the Mustangs are looking to charge. Up by 3 with 28:50 left to go here in the first half. Sam Getzinger, Blake Tyson here on 88.1 FM KVSC and the NSIC network. Back up into the middle here for Noah Anneser. He has a goal, looking for Moritz Lush, who has the other two. Lush playing it across Charlie Pritchard into the 18 on the near side. Good cross, and they find the back of the net once again. Moritz Lush doing all the work to set up Robin Thamala for Morningside's 4th goal in this match.
Yeah, St. Cloud State's got to do something on the left side of the formation right now to get and deal with Moritz Lush. I mean, that's the 3rd or 4th, maybe even 5th time now that he's been able to just put that hand up, wait for his defense on the back end or someone in the midfield to just spring him, down this near side of the touch line, and then either he's working his way in for a beautiful shot or right there being this primary setup man with that opportunity. He's done a phenomenal job, and right there that last time I was kind of keeping an eye on it because, again, you see the hand go up early for Lush that he knows he's open, and Colin Pritchard, again, is that man that maybe is supposed to be defending him but kind of sucking a little bit too far over to that strong side of the field where that ball is. St. Cloud State defensively just needs to do a better job of having their heads on a swivel. If they're going to give that to Lush, that's fine, but they've got to find a way to be able to get back to the middle, defend inside that 18 if they're going to force Lush to the outside.
St. Cloud State has just registered 1 shot on goal here in the first half. Morningside College with 5. We will have our first couple of substitutions. Looks like Charlie Pritchard will come out here for St. Cloud State University. Now the Huskies looking to answer, trailing by 4. Speaking with Coach Holmes earlier this week, they like excitement in their soccer games, but this is probably not the excitement they wanted to see as Moritz Lush has a touch once again. Looking to get around a couple of defenders. Pass Croydon. Now Croydon will take it away at the 20-yard line, looking to streak upfield. Croydon into the middle third, playing it over for Patrumwan. Patrumwan got it caught up in the feet, but he'll regain it back after he tried to go through for Brian Alexander. Mastelovich slowly in the middle third will slow things down for St. Cloud State. Now a long pass over for Brian Alexander attacking from the right flanks. And just Morningside is always there for whatever pass St. Cloud State wants to deliver.
Yeah, St. Cloud State having a tough time connecting on those passes. Sam, we talked about that's a thing that Coach Holmes really preached needs to be better, and it has not been good, but here's Eway down that far side, at least getting possession into the attacking third for St. Cloud State.
Emmanuel Eway dancing right in front of the touchline on the far side of the field. Back for Brian Alexander. Alexander playing it over for Jacob Morlock on the St. C logo here at Husky Stadium. Morlock, cross field. Now Eddie Sadie, who's been playing up, went back to that main 3 defender spot for St. Cloud State after Noah Kantorowicz suffered a red card 5 minutes into the match. 4-0 Morningside, 26-13 left to go here in the first half. Alexander back for Mastolovich. Cross field to the near side for Jacob Morlock. Morlock looking to go back up onto the wings here in the attacking third for St. Cloud State. Now crossing for Emmanuel Eway, and it's booted away by Morningside. They'll regain possession. Mustangs on the attack once again. Victor Becker coming in from the right side, entering the 18, crossing over. And it's taken away by the Huskies. Zenadine Croydon. Long stretch pass looking for Patrumwan. Didn't have enough juice on it. Headed away by the Mustangs. 25-30 left to go here in the first half. Morningside in the middle third. Back for Marcus Matson. Now here's some good pressure put on by Eddie Sadie right in the St. Cloud State attacking third. And we do have one member of the Mustangs in the backfield that is holding his head. We'll see if everything is okay with him. Brian Alexander applying pressure to attacking Morningside squad. Robin Thamala has a goal in this game. He touches it back. Good slide there by Emmanuel Eway to try to take that ball away, but he can't. Now Frondmuller coming up the right side. Frondmuller in the corner, crossing, and Fairchild will jump up in the air, make the stop at the 6. He'll roll it upfield for Colin McSweeney. McSweeney in between the hashes, slowing things down for St. Cloud State. Calmness is what they need here, trailing by 4 with 24:30 left to go here in the first half.
Yeah, the good thing, Sam, is there's a lot of time left in this ball game, and you got a lot of time to try and make up these goals. But I think that calmness that you're talking about is kind of something that St. Cloud State really needs right now. I know Coach Holmes wants to be aggressive, wants to really maybe push the pace a little bit, but yeah, it is not the best time right now, maybe for St. Cloud State to be pushing the pace and being aggressive. This might just have to turn into a game very early on where you've just got to wait for the 5-6 chances that you get in a slow grinding soccer game, and you're just going to have to hope to capitalize on a few of them to be able to push that pace a little bit later on in the game.
Morningside College comes into this match with St. Cloud State winning record 2-1 on the season. They opened up their year back on September 28th, back last month on the 28th. It was a 5-1 loss to William Penn. Since then, they've gone in a 2-match win streak with a 1-0 double overtime win against Cardinal Stritch and then a 4-1 win against Bellevue. And they're taking it to the Huskies right now here in the first half. Manuel Eway looking for a through pass from Eddie Sadie. That one travels too far into the arms of Huth in the 23rd minute. Batum 1 applying pressure on the far side of the field in the middle third. Morningside now attacking. Brian Alexander going all over the field, looking to take this ball away. Long shot coming, and Fairchild will see it into the stomach. Another good save by Fairchild. Again, Blake, he's been tested about as much as he could ask for tonight.
Yeah, it's certainly been tested quite a bit. Obviously, 4 shots on goal minimum with the goals. We talked about the one where he had to make 3 or 4 saves, and finally they banked in on that 3rd or 4th opportunity, did Morningside. So right now, yeah, he's been tested a lot, and you might look at it and say, well, 4 goals, that's, how do you do that in just about 23 minutes of play? Well, you've been down a man, but also at the same time, there has been a lot of heat applying to Dawson Fairchild. Not all of it is his fault.
Fairchild playing it up to the right side of the field, looking for Alexander. Alexander crossing from the far touchline towards midfield, and the Mustangs will take it away once again. And Morningside has done a great job of setting up shop in their attacking third and just getting the ball around, looking for open shooting lanes. And St. Cloud State just hasn't set up that offensive zone presence.
Yeah, you talk about the turnovers that St. Cloud State has committed. I think that maybe that's the biggest reason today why so far Morningside's been so successful, Sam. I can't think of a notably bad turnover that they've had where it's looked like things are going their way, and then all of a sudden, St. Cloud State forces that turnover.
Sadie stumbling in midfield, and it's taken away once again, this time by Victor Becker. Becker through pass, looking for a streaking Robin Thamala. Again, already has a goal in this 4-0 match, crossing it back up towards the top of the 18, and it's taken away by St. Cloud State. Morlock doing a great job there in front of the far corner. Eddie Sadie, slide tackle, and that has Becker landing right on top of Sadie. We're having a stoppage now, and it looks to be a yellow card distributed to Sadie. So we've already seen a red card on St. Cloud State, now a yellow card.
And that's very difficult early on. And that one was a close play, Sam. It looked like, Sadie was really close to getting to that ball first, but, bang, bang play, that just doesn't go your way. And again, now you're already playing down a man, and now Sadie in particular is going to have to play a little bit more cautious and less aggressive. And this just does not benefit the way that Coach Holmes wants his squad to play.
And this looks to be Moritz Lush, who already has 2 goals in this match, taking the free kick long towards the way of Dawson Fairchild. And that one misses just towards Fairchild's right. So St. Cloud State gets away from another solid chance by Morningside. The Mustangs leading 4-0 with 20 minutes left here in this first half, and a couple of more substitutions coming in. Morlock coming out.
Yeah, a couple of substitutions for both sides. For Morningside, we saw Yannick Vogel come in and Matthias Constantino.
Looks like Riley Wood will be in for the first time today for St. Cloud State as well, coming in for Morlock here on the near side. 20:10 left to go here in the first half. 4-0 score in favor of Morningside. Marcus Matson here on the near side. Jesse Welfing out there as well. He has possession of the ball. Back over to Matson in the defending third for Morningside. Matson taking his time once again. He'll walk it upfield. Now play it for Lush. Lush triple team now. Eddie Sadie helping on the defense. Emmanuel Eway trying to take that ball away. Played back for Huth. And Morningside with another opportunity to make a run. Colbert, deep pass, and it's over the head of the attacker for the Mustangs into the hands of Dawson Fairchild. Right over his head. Now Mastolovich playing it for Colin McSweeney. Now the Huskies look like they're trapping here at midfield.
Yeah, really that seems like it's kind of what their play is at this point in the ball game, and able to get possession here on the back line. They've just got to do a better job of exactly this right here, Sam, what we just saw, is I think flipping field position in terms, I mean, that's kind of a football term, but I think it applies here in soccer of you've got guys, some Coach Holmes talked about, is they've got a lot of left-footed players. They can work both the right side and the left side of the pitch, and I think that's really something that St. Cloud State maybe needs to try doing rather than, having to hit 2, 3, 4 passes to get from the near side to the far side of the field. Maybe, hit one and then have someone really swing a long pass over to that far side, try and catch the weak side defenders napping. That's what Morningside has done very well against St. Cloud State here so far.
Evan Stearns on the near side. 18:20 left to go here in the first half. Still 4-0 Morningside. Good through pass, and we may have another attack here by the Mustangs. Right-footed shot gets past the legs of Fairchild. It is 5-0 for the Mustangs. Robin Thamala, goal number 2 tonight. And Blake, we still have plenty of time left on the clock.
Yeah, still plenty of time left in this game, Sam. 18 minutes left on the clock here, just in the first half. And right now, Morningside just showing no signs of letting up. And it's going to be really demoralizing here for St. Cloud State as well. Obviously, you're wanting to put on a good show, and it just has not gone your way. A lot of breaks, things like that. That is one that, Fairchild maybe could have had. He tried to stick that right leg out. It was a low shot, and it just was able to beat Fairchild down and to the right. And it's been a tough performance so far today for St. Cloud State. A lot of those passes just getting beat, on the one-on-one in your defense as a defender, and those through passes are connecting every time. Morningside is seeing the seams very, very well today, whether it's their midfielders or their defenders on the back end. And they're just finding those forwards and springing them almost every time.
17:43 left to go here in the first half. 5-0 Mustangs after the second goal by Robin Thamala. Thamala has 2. Moritz Lush has 2 as well. And Noah Anisser has 1. For the boys wearing black kits today in the Mustangs, making their first appearance here at Husky Stadium. A lot of firsts coming this season. First time the Huskies have trailed by this margin as well. And I'm sure in the next 17 minutes they'll look to get out of here with no more damage, potentially put a couple on the board, and they may hear some words from the coaching staff of St. Cloud State.
Yeah, I think they absolutely will, and it'll probably be a lot about defensive responsibility. I think that's where you got to start. But yeah, it has not been pretty, and right now you got to hope to find a way to come into the into half with a little bit of momentum. Maybe put one into the back of the net here before half. Obviously, I'd love more than that, but every comeback has to start somewhere, and yeah, it has. Look, it hasn't gone the way you draw it up, and I think this is also a good opportunity right here for Coach Holmes to see how his guys respond to adversity. You get that red card early on. You deal with, now the yellow card as well being assessed to Sadie. And how are those guys going to respond? How is your team going to respond dealing with the big deficit?
Morningside already collecting 7 shots on goal here in the first half. St. Cloud State with just 1. That was done by Emmanuel Eway. Do they have another one by Eway? That touch just a little too hard off his foot in front of the 6. Now a hard cross there by Zenadine Croyton. Just goes a little errant off the foot. Now Morningside has possession once again.
I think Croyton put about twice as much as he wanted to on that one there, Sam. He had a chance right on the edge of the 18 to maybe try and pop one up right around the top of the 6 for a couple of Huskies that were right there, Eway in particular. And that one it just caught the foot maybe a little bit too cleanly and went about 20, 30 yards too far.
Now a couple of subs getting ready to check in, and it looks like we will have a new goalkeeper entering the match for St. Cloud State. So this may be an early night here for Dawson Fairchild, as the Huskies holding possession here in the middle third. Sadie playing it over to Stearns on the left side. Stearns trying to dance around Madsen. Now back over for Sadie. And they'll play it deeper into the defending third for St. Cloud State. And that is Wood. Wood came in replace of Jacob Morlock about midway through this half. Crossfield from Mastilovic to Stearns. Stearns with the left foot, walking down the touchline, looking to find a place to cross, and that's kicked away by Jesse Welfling. 15 minutes left to go here in the first half. 5-0 lead for Morningside College. And St. Cloud State's first ever home match here at Husky Stadium.
So we will have another goalkeeper coming in, Sam. You got that one right for St. Cloud State. Try and grab a number. Haven't quite seen the goaltender turn around the perfect way. It looks like that might be Gage Steiner.
Steiner did not see action against St. John's University. It was Dawson Fairchild and Matthew Janke. May see Matthew Janke in the second half, depending on how things will go. And Blake, I think we can say with all certainty, probably not the night that Dawson Fairchild may have wanted, but just a lot of good attacks by Morningside here in the first.
Yeah, like I said, a lot of it wasn't necessarily on him. I think that fifth one is maybe one that you can look at it and say that's, feeling the game, and right now, having at that time being down 4, that's a save you have to make. But other than that, those first 4, there wasn't a ton that he could have done. It was just really good, odd-numbered opportunities for Morningside, really good, clean looks. That was the thing. A lot of it was really clean. They got to pick their head up, pick their corner, take that boot, and it was tough for Fairchild, and he'll have to bounce back. But for Steiner coming in, you mentioned it, not playing in St. John's. He got both starts, though, against South Dakota Mines last weekend. So he's had a little bit of experience here for St. Cloud State as well, allowing 4 goals on 11 shots on goal in that weekend.
13:20 left to go here in the first half. Still 5-0 in favor of Morningside. St. Cloud State looking to start applying some more offensive pressure. We've seen the ball tilted onto the left side of the field a little bit more in the past couple of minutes. Croyton playing it back on the wing here on the near side, looking to dance around a couple of defenders for Morningside. Back for Sadie. Sadie, top of the box, right-footed shot, booted away by the defense of Morningside. Now here comes the Mustangs. Do have a stoppage. And this is going to regain possession here for St. Cloud State. Free kick coming. Emmanuel Eway, Eddie Sadie setting up. Husky attackers lining up on the right side of the field. Should mention Philip Caputo has been in the match for the past couple of minutes. Checked in about midway through. Still 12:30 left to go here in the first half. Emmanuel Eway will get set for this free kick, as well as Philip Caputo. Huth standing deep in the net. Eway, hard shot with the left foot. Rebound is right there on the 6, and it's kicked away by the Mustangs. Caputo holding it in play, walking the end line. And it did cross, and we are going to get a free kick coming here from Huth, as it was kicked away by Caputo through the end line.
Yeah, it looked like that was maybe Stearns on the near side, or right inside the 6, there, Sam, that had a great opportunity to stop home on a rebound. There were a couple of Huskies there, but I think Stearns was the one that just missed the golden opportunity to get the Huskies on the board. But that last few minutes there, Sam, that's kind of what you want to see from St. Cloud State here the rest of the way. Getting some opportunities, getting some free kicks, getting getting these defenders from Morningside back on their heels and having to play a little bit too aggressive to allow you to set up and get those clean looks like they had right there.
Crossing the 11:30 mark in the first half at Huskies Stadium. And you're tuned in to the Huskies' first ever men's soccer home match here at St. Cloud State University. Blake Tyson, Sam Getzinger with you. Now the Huskies in the top of the attacking third, looking to set up some more pressure. Had a couple of good chances there in the last minute. And then Morningside just did a wonderful job of having the back of their goalkeeper, Huth, and keeping it out of the back of the net. Stearns on the left flanks, now working his way down to the wing. He'll cross. Eway is there, can't get the right foot on it. Now on the far side of the field, Caputo. Caputo on the right side, looking to cross once again, and Morningside right there. And the Mustangs do a great job of when they see pressure in their attacking third for St. Cloud State, they fill that box and make it hard for passing lanes to allow the ball to get back to their goalkeeper and Hush.
And they're doing a really good job of it right now, too, Sam, because they've got that extra man out on the pitch. And for St. Cloud State, the question is, they've been exposed on the back end. So do you really want to commit more resources moving forward right now? Because otherwise this game could get more out of hand than it maybe already is. And so if they get back and collapse, they're almost always going to have numbers for St. Cloud State. And, you saw it right there, Caputo on the far side. That ball came right to him. And he had two Morningside Mustangs right on him. So it's going to be tough battles for St. Cloud State right around that 18 and to get inside the 18.
Ewell cross field for Stearns. Now Stearns playing it down for Croyton, and this one is booted out of the stadium by the defense of the Mustangs. 9:50 remaining here in the first. 5-0 Morningside. Some more substitutions in for St. Cloud State. Eway will come out. Now Gabe Monahan will come in place for him. Eway getting a much-needed break. We've seen a lot of running around, not just in this game, but all season long, and we're going to see that a lot as the corner kick comes in here for St. Cloud State from the left side, and Huth making a diving stop, falling to his backside.
It looked like there's maybe a little bit of contact there. Not sure who the Husky was, maybe McSweeney that came in trying to come in and just bumped into the Mustang goalkeeper.
9 minutes left in the first. 5-0 Mustangs. St. Cloud State moving right to left in the white kits, Morningside in the black kits. Up towards midfield, first time today, Frederick Pahus. Pahus looking to go with a long through pass. Caputo is all over it and into the hands of Steiner on the right side of the 18. Steiner to Mastelovich, now over to Riley Wood. Wood walking up the left side of the field, left-footed pass over to Cullen McSweeney. McSweeney looking to enter the middle third. Over to Croyton. Croyton just trying to get around the good defense of Morningside with Stearns, and again unable to connect a lot of these passes. Back up to the middle here for Morningside. McSweeney, good turnover. Over to Philip Caputo. Caputo crossing. Back over for Manahan. Manahan to Croyton. Good back pass for Sadie. Sadie off the end of the toes, and this one's weakly turned over to Morningside once again.
Yeah, he had Caputo right there, splitting a couple of defenders. Would have been an onside play as well, and you mentioned, Sam, right off the toe, and Sadie just didn't get really anything on that one.
Mastelovich too heavy on the pass, looking for Caputo on the right side of the field, goes past the touchline. Throw in here for Morningside College. 7:43 left to go here in the first half. This is Huskies Soccer on 88.1 FM KVSC and the NSIC Network. Morningside leading 5-0 in the program's official home opener. Miscommunication there by St. Cloud State. Can't keep it in bounds. Throw in coming for Morningside once again. Taking this one is Jesse Wellfling. Wellfling playing it downfield. And Morningside will turn it over.
Also, Sam, want to remind our listeners, obviously we've got this coverage here on KVSC. If you're looking for St. Cloud State volleyball, they'll be over on the KVSC Sports Stream. They're about to get things underway against Seattle Pacific, the host team of the Pacific Northwest tournament right now that St. Cloud State is playing in. St. Cloud State volleyball, they've dropped their last two games, but came into the tournament with an undefeated record, so they're going to look today to beat the host team in Seattle Pacific and pulled it 2-2 for that tournament.
That's on the KVSC Sports Stream. You can find that on kvsc.org underneath the Sports tab. But right here you have St. Cloud State men's soccer. 6:30 left here in the first. 5-0 Mustangs. Mastelovich far side of the field in the defending third. Huskies traveling right to left. Played up towards midfield. Madsen up in the air. Caputo heads it away and picked up by Madsen once again. Now here comes the Mustangs. They have numbers 4-on-3. Now make it 4-on-4. Cross coming over. Wood takes it away and clears. Sadie trying to get it back up to the top of the box. Good keep there by the Mustangs. Now over to the far side. Sadie applying pressure once again. Caputo, high boot up into the air, just buying some time, looking to clear. Mastelovich heads it straight into the ground, played back for Wood. Now Mastelovich over to Steiner, and Steiner able to get this big boot away after a couple of Morningside attackers, I should say, are right there in the 6. Wood gets the ball played back towards him in the 18. He'll allow Steiner to pick it up with 2 hands. Now Steiner making his way up to the arc, and he'll roll it back over for Mastelovich. 5:20 in the first half. Caputo back for Mastelovich. Mastelovich on the right side. Long through pass coming. Just lands gently off of the feet of a Husky and played back for Huth. And Morningside will regain the ball back once again. Manahan, the lone striker there on the attacking third for St. Cloud State. And Morningside just playing back and forth, chewing up as much time as possible here before getting to that halftime intermission.
Well, that's really all they need to do, and when they're passing as well as they have been today, Sam, it's St. Cloud State has not been able to create any turnovers or force any turnovers, and so Morningside's just going to hold possession.
Zarbo crossing, good chance for Morningside off the top of the foot and off the right upright on the football goal post. Another good chance there by Morningside College, and luckily St. Cloud State able to survive another one. 5-0 Mustangs here in the first half.
Yeah, it was just another really good through ball right there for Zarbo that sprung that offensive opportunity for Morningside.
Manahan on the right side of the field for St. Cloud State, looking for a through pass, and that one is kicked away. That was intended for Micah Fulstad. Ball comes out of the touchline. Another throw in coming here for the Mustangs. A lot of new faces out there for Morningside from what we started the game with. Long throw in headed away by McSweeney. Now Manahan, 2-on-1, trying to keep it into the corner, and that one is kicked out of the end line. We will have a set-piece corner kick coming here for Micah Fulstad in St. Cloud State.
Yeah, it's a good opportunity here for St. Cloud State.
Second corner of the game.
Yeah, second corner of the game. The first one, it was a nice one out of the near side, but goaltender Huth was just able to come out and poke that one right out of the air and clutch up on it. See if Husky can get a better effort here.
Fulstad low in the air. Mastelovich skied for it with his head, but unable to make contact with it. And eventually, Stearns was able to play it back for Riley Wood in the middle third. Now Sadie brought down to the ground. No call. Over to the right side once again. Fulstad through pass, booted away by the Mustangs.
I would imagine Eddie Sadie not too happy with the no call on that one right there. Got a hand on his back that pushed him down into the ground, and that would have been, decent spot for a free kick for St. Cloud State. It's been a whistle a couple other times against the Huskies for a similar play.
Marcus Madsen playing it back for Huth, and they are able to go give and go from one side of the field to the other. 2:18 left to go here in the first half. St. Cloud State looking for their first official goal here at Husky Stadium. Back here to the near side for Welfling. Welfling just watching with Fulstad right in front of him. And Morningside will switch field once again. Into the middle. Yannick Vogel. Vogel playing it back. And just some more good pitch and catch here, Blake, for the Morningside College Mustangs.
Just something we haven't seen from St. Cloud State and Morningside right now, putting on a clinic for them, and it's just that simple passing that leads to another good look right here.
Another good chance here by Morningside. It looked like one attacker there for the Mustangs tripped on the concrete. So he is down on the back mound, shot towards Steiner. That one misses right of the net. And it looks like we're going to have to get some attention there to that Mustang that's back behind the goal. He is up and okay.
Moving a little bit gingerly. Can't quite tell who that is, Sam, but coming down on that far side, you mentioned there's the concrete right outside of the back touch line here on the pitch, and that concrete when you got those cleats on,
yep.
it is slippery. I mean, it is very difficult to keep your footing on that, and that man found his way right down onto the ground on that concrete.
45 seconds left here in the first half. 5-0 Morningside. Now the Huskies seeing if they can get one latch-ditch push here in the first half. Caputo, far side of the field in the middle third. Back over for McSweeney. 30 seconds left to go here in the first half. Long pass here looking for Fulstad. That one's kicked out of play. So we'll have to have a quick throw in here for St. Cloud State with 15 seconds left to go here in the half, and we don't have a ball. So we'll stop the clock here with 12. Now the throw in coming. Clock will start once again here in the first half. Caputo centering for McSweeney. McSweeney has to go deep for it. Over for Stearns. Off of his head towards the way of Huth, and that's kicked away as the first half comes to an end. Not the first half here at Husky Stadium that the Huskies may have wanted to see, trailing by 5 here to the Morningside Mustangs.
Yeah, it just was not a good first half for St. Cloud State, and I think the toughest part was it kind of snowballed right away, didn't it, Sam? You got those 3 goals in about the first 15 minutes. It all came about 5 minutes apart from each other, and it was 1-0, and then you look up, you look down for a few minutes, you look right back up, and just like that, it's 3-0, and then a few, 10 minutes later, it's 4-0, and eventually to this 5-0 lead here for Morningside. They just did a really good job of possessing the ball, did Morningside, and I think St. Cloud State didn't. That pass completion percentage that Sean Holmes talked about, it wasn't good for St. Cloud State. I'd be curious to know exactly what that number is today, because I'd bet it's right around 50% with some of the passes for St. Cloud State, and I would imagine Morningside's number is probably up in that 80-90 area that Coach Holmes wants his guys to be at.
Well, we'll send it a break here on 88.1 FM KVSC. When we come back, Sydney Wolf will run through the stats here of this first half, and then we'll come back here to Husky Stadium and gear things up for the second. This is the voice of St. Cloud, 88.1 FM. intriguing to me, but what stands out to you as we look at the team stats?
Well, I just pointed out to you off air about 10 seconds before we went on is that, the possession number is in favor of St. Cloud State, and I think it doesn't really feel that way, right? I mean, obviously the score is what it is, so, but it seems like the possession has been mostly Morningside, especially towards the back half of the first half there, where Morningside was just kind of passing things around, almost milking the clock and just trying to run things down to halftime. But I mean, if the possession shows St. Cloud State with 59% of the possession in that first half, and it just shows how much they'd have the ball if they would connect on their passes, and that that's a number that we unfortunately don't have. But I'd love to see what that number is, because I think it's probably right around 50-60% on the completion percentage for St. Cloud State passes. And if that number were up in that 70, 80, mid-80s mark, I mean, St. Cloud State right now might be running away with possession in this game, and ultimately maybe being a much closer game on the scoreboard as well.
And what stands out to me as well, St. Cloud State, 1 yellow card and 1 red card, and I believe those are hurting out as well. You lose one of your top defenders in Noah Kantorowicz in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, I think that's probably the story of the game, and it was a tough call. It was right outside the 18, and I believe it was 6 minutes into this soccer game. And to lose a guy like Kantorowicz, who's played every minute of all 3 regular season games so far for St. Cloud State this year, that's a lot to lose on your back end, because you're either you're asking guys to shift around, you're asking guys to play out of position, you're asking guys to cover an extra. If it's each guy has to cover an extra maybe 15 yards, and that's a lot of space on a soccer pitch, right? So, and we've seen a lot of these Morningside attackers and forwards take advantage of that extra space. Moritz Lush was the one to do it first with his first 2 goals. But, yeah, that red card and then the yellow card issued to Eddie Sadie, forcing him to probably play a little bit more conservatively than he would like right now. Because, if he gets another yellow, you're down 2 men, right? So it's St. Cloud State right now already down a man, and then having one guy that's got to play conservative and can't play with that edge that he's kind of known for. It's a tough spot, and credit them for what they have done. It's very difficult to play an entire soccer match or 84 minutes worth of one down a man, especially a man on your back end.
Moments away from kickoff here in the second half. Morningside will start with possession. St. Cloud State in a huddle in front of their benches before we get things going here in the final 45 of regulation. 5-0 in favor of the Mustangs. And the story of the game have been the 2 attackers in Moritz Lush and Robin Thamala, both with 2 goals apiece.
Yeah, they've done a phenomenal job. I just talked about Moritz Lush and how well he's done in being able to find the seams with that back line for St. Cloud State. Short a man, he's been able to really, he picked really hard early on in this game on Charlie Pritchard in particular, hitting by him about 3 or 4 times for some really good looks. But yeah, you mentioned Tamala as well. He's done a phenomenal job finding some open areas, just being in the right spot as well, in search of a pass, just right inside that 18 on the edge of the 6, able to bang a couple of home as well. So, Morningside, they'll start the second half here with possession and just look to continue to add on to what's been a phenomenal showing from them so far.
And we are underway here in the second half from Huskies Stadium. St. Cloud State men's soccer here on 88.1 FM KVSC and the NSIC network. However you may be joining us, thank you so much for letting us be a part of your Saturday night. It's been a beautiful night here so far in central Minnesota. Now St. Cloud State needs to put a couple goals up on the board and make things interesting here in their first ever game here on their own home turf in program history. Morningside seeing a lot of pressure here from St. Cloud State to start off this second half, and the Huskies attacking third. Now the Mustangs will regain their spot, and just like that, St. Cloud State looks like already in the first minute a lot more fire than what we saw here in the first half, just running and sprinting to every ball they can get to.
Yeah, you got some fresh legs out there as well, and that's also a thing that you lose that, when you're down a man, is those guys probably got tired much quicker than they normally would, having to cover that extra amount of field. So early on here in this second half, I would expect them to have that same juice that they had to start this game out, and to be able to push that pace a little bit more than they were towards, the last 20 minutes or so of the first half.
Eddie Sadie in the defending third for St. Cloud State, looking to go cross field, and it's right into the feet of Moritz Lush, who already has 2 tonight, looking to find Tamala, who also has 2, and it's taken away by the Huskies. Stearns playing it up for Fulstad. Fulstad can't catch up to the long stretch pass, and now Morningside will regain possession once again. Over on the far side of the field, Wellfling Back over for Joritsma. And Joritsma will play it back for Matson. Matson will go cross pitch to Sander Kohlberg. Kohlberg looking to play upfield, and good job by Philip Caputo to get his legs on it and take this one away from Morningside. Eddie Sadie gaining possession here on the flanks of St. Cloud State's defending side. Caputo up the touchline. 42:50 left to go here in the second half. 5-0 lead for Morningside College. Caputo, some contact there, no call. We will get a stoppage here, and possession will be turned back over for Morningside College. Cross field, Anneser. Anneser also has a goal in this match, the 5th one for Morningside. A lot of play in the middle third here, Blake, to start off this second half.
Yeah, it's been a little bit. It's difficult for both these two teams so far to break that back line defensively for their opposing squad, and it's been a little bit of a back and forth here as well.
And we are fully under the lights here at Huskies Stadium as the sun starts to come down here on this Saturday evening. Can no longer really see the Mississippi on the far side as Morningside looks to get some action going here with a stretch pass for Thamala. But a good job by the Huskies to negate that. Now they have it up in the middle third. Sadie looking for Manahan. Manahan on the 40, kicking it over to the far side of the field. One Mustang is down. Stretch pass for Manahan. That one goes too far. And the Mustangs booted out of the end line. And we are going to have the third corner kick of the game here for St. Cloud State. But as I was saying, Blake, under the lights here, and especially at the Division II level and for men's soccer in the NCAA, you don't see a lot of teams with turf fields and lights like this. And one thing that Coach Holmes is very keen on is that once a week, as this corner kick is coming in, good opportunity off the head of Mastelovich. Cleared up to the top of the arc by McSweeney. McSweeney charging to get possession back. Down low for Sadie, top of the 18. And the Mustangs able to keep that one away. Now Sadie looking for some help, front of the box, and the Morningside Mustangs able to avoid some good pressure there from St. Cloud State here in this second half. But one thing that Coach Holmes has been very happy about so far in the year or so they've had without competition to kind of prepare for these regular season games is every Wednesday night come out here to Husky Stadium and practice under the lights.
Yeah, and it's obviously something fun, right? Like you love being underneath the lights, you like having, almost like a gigantic spotlight on you, but it's also fun. Like night practice, night games are a ton of fun, right? You look forward to those primetime moments, but it's also, a situation where he hopes his team is quite frequently, in these nighttime games underneath some nicer fields. And it'll be interesting to see, what all these other, that's one thing Coach Holmes said to us is, he spent a lot of his career at Drake, and he got to know what every city was like, what every other pitch was like, and all that. And he said he's quite unfamiliar with the GLIAC, and so he's curious to see how it's going to play out with some of these teams and what their fields look like. And he's, mentioned at some point you're going to have a game that's going to be played probably, the back end of November, maybe in some snow at some point, right? So, it'll be interesting to see. Obviously, you have the luxury of the turf field here, and you'll be able to, it's much easier to shovel off a turf field and clear that off than natural grass. But, which, by the way, I think is something Coach Holmes would love to have here, is that natural grass. He said that's how he feels soccer is, how he believes soccer is played. Obviously, this facility is a multi-use facility, but so it'll be interesting to see how he adjusts to having to have some of those games out in the elements in a lot of this upper Midwest.
39:20 left to go here in the second half. Still 5-0 Morningside. Plays locked up in the middle third. And we said it after this game, the final regular season game against Morningside College here, that's not a part of the GLIAC. Next week, St. Cloud State will travel to Grand Rapids, Michigan against Davenport University to start off their tough schedule with teams in the Great Lakes Intercollegiate Athletic Conference. And that's where things will get interesting. So, again, a good tune-up game here for St. Cloud State before we get into that conference schedule. Probably not the result that they want to see right now, obviously trailing by 5 in their home opener. And the Huskies still applying a lot of pressure here in the second half. They're down, but definitely not out. 38-30 left to go here in regulation. Stearns trying to attack from the far wing. Booted out of that far touchline by the Morningside defense. That was Marcus Matson. So we'll have a throw-in coming here from Stearns, who's seeing a lot of good minutes here in this matchup against Morningside. This one's into the 18, and there's another good shot there for St. Cloud State. Another one on goal. That is 3 in the match.
Yeah, nice job there by Huth. Just able to watch that one kind of roll in right to him. And Sam, is something that I do want to talk about at some point as we get another good look from Morningside.
Morningside at top of the 18, off of the feet of Mastelovich. That one goes through the end line. Great job by Vuk Mastelovich to stand right in the heart of the 6 and take away that chance by Victor Becker. But a corner kick coming nonetheless here for the Mustangs.
This will be their first corner kick of the game. Sam, St. Cloud State already with 3 of them, so it'll be interesting to see how their set piece shakes out here.
This corner kick coming from the right side of the field. It's high and tailing back over towards the middle third. They have possession of it, top of the 18. Right-footed shot coming from Jortsma. That one's taken away by St. Cloud State. Now Colin McSweeney in a foot race into the middle third. He's brought down. Now Matson in the attacking third for the Mustangs. Looking across once again for Thomala, and that one is taken away by the Huskies. Good clear. And these corner kicks have brought a lot of excitement here in the match play.
Yeah, a couple of good looks for both sides right there. That one for Morningside, maybe a little bit too far out from that 6. It was closer almost to the outside of the 18, and when it came down, a little soft pass over and a good look towards the goal that got blocked off along its way again by the staunch Husky defense out in front. But a couple of good looks for both these two teams off their corner kicks.
36-30. Remaining here in regulation, 5-0 Morningside. Through pass coming, Mastelovich clears into the middle third. That one's onto the feet of Jakob Franmuller. Marcus Madsen on the St. C logo at midfield, playing it over to the right side. St. Cloud just looking to come up and steal position whenever they can. Down low, looking for Thomala. He's got it at the arc. Right-footed shot. Thought he had it in the direction of Steiner. That one misses left. 36 left to go here in the second half. St. Cloud State has been dominated in the last couple of minutes here by the Morningside College Mustangs. And one thing we've talked about, Blake, and we've noticed here, looking at the Morningside College, just looking at the roster, and you see the different collection of diversity and different arrangement of countries that a lot of this team is from. And speaking with head coach Sean Holmes, that's something he doesn't want to see his program go into that direction. Not saying that it's wrong by any means, but Coach Holmes, and having this be the first Division II men's soccer program in the state of Minnesota, he wants to have it a fairly regional team.
Yeah, that's something that he talked about. I'm sure, if it were ever necessary for him to go that international route or really broaden things around the entire country of the United States, I'm sure he would go that route, right? If it made sense or if it were a need for his program. But yeah, that's one thing that he has stressed both during our meeting with him, Sam, and then during his media day appearance, is that he wants his team to be Minnesota based. He wants it to be homegrown talent. He believes that there's a lot of good soccer talent here in Minnesota, especially in the Twin Cities area. I mean, you see what Minnesota United has done, really starting to grow the game. We've had a couple of really good teams here locally, even in St. Cloud. St. Cloud Apollo winning a state title back in 2016. Both Tech and Apollo have been very good programs in the last couple of years. So he would love to build up that Minnesota connection, make these kids feel like, hey, just stay home. Move an hour and a half away, come to St. Cloud, and we can put together something special as that First Division II program.
Morningside with a good opportunity on the wings of the left side of the 18, and Mastelovich flailing in the middle of the box and kicking that one away. St. Cloud State also had a good opportunity by Micah Fulstad. And again, some more of that local talent down in the metro area that's making their way to St. Cloud State, and we've seen that up and down the roster here. But a couple of international guys as well for the Huskies that have kind of come here just by happenstance, but they're making good progress, and they're helping this St. Cloud State program grow into what we may see in the future.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, there's a lot of them that play big roles on this team as well. I mean, you look at Mastolovich, who's been out there for a majority of this game. He's played quite a bit early on this season, and he's obviously very talented. He went to UMKC for a year, a Division I program. That's the University of Missouri Kansas City, for those of you that don't know the abbreviation. So, that's just one of the guys coming internationally from Belgrade, Serbia, that, if it's, like I said, if it's a right guy that fits, that it's a need, or he's a good player that makes sense, Coach Holmes probably won't have a problem bringing that player here, just like he has with Mostalovic.
Morningside, top of the box. Thamala looking for number 3, working around 6 Husky defenders. And that one lands right into the stomach of Steiner. And Steiner's been playing very well ever since he entered this game for Dawson Fairchild.
Yeah, he's looked very well, Sam. You're absolutely right. And he's kind of calmed things down a little bit back there. And the play in front of him has been better, to give Dawson Fairchild his credit. But, for what Steiner has done so far, he's come in, he's held Morningside off the scoreboard. He's probably been in now for, about 20 minutes or so, give or take, of game time. I get the exact minute that he checked in at. But he's done a good job just really calming things down on the back end, making the simple save. And, we saw Fairchild a little bit kind of having to sprawl a little bit more for saves, a little bit more, you don't want to say out of control, but just kind of loose in net. It seems Steiner's just really calm, really watching the ball in and making the save look a lot simpler than maybe it really is.
Yeah, you were close. Steiner has been in for 25 minutes now. Fairchild, 31. 32 minutes left to go here in the second half, and for the first time in the half, we'll see some substitutions here for the men in the white kits. That's St. Cloud State. Looks like Manahan will come off, as well as McSweeney. I believe Stearns is coming off as well for St. Cloud State. That allows some new faces to come in. Jake Leonard for the Huskies here on the near side, the native out of Prior Lake. Eddie Sadie's back out there once again. Batum 1 is out there for the first time in the second half as well.
And so this is kind of what we expected to see here, Sam, for St. Cloud State. A lot of these faces getting in for what, maybe one last time here before the regular season gets going.
Sadie, long through pass on the money for Philip Caputo, looking to bring it back onto the wings here on the left side. Centering, shot just over the head of Huss. Best opportunity of the night here for St. Cloud State. Zenadine Croyton with a good opportunity and the arc, but he split the uprights.
On Caputo right there coming back on the far side, getting back defensively here before the goal kick, was trying to get this crowd riled up a little bit as well, waving those hands in the air, trying to bring a little bit of energy back into this building. Obviously, I'm sure these fans are just enjoying there being soccer on campus for starters, but trying to get a little bit of energy back in, maybe help that energy so that the players can feed off the crowd a bit, because right now it has been pretty quiet.
Mastalovic comes out. Jacob Morlock checks back in. First appearance for him here in the second half. Moritz Lush, he's got 2 goals in the game. Little give and go. Looking for some help with Victor Becker. Becker plays it back into the middle third for Morningside. Becker still with possession. Sadie attacking. Now over to Emmanuel Eway in for this first time here in the second half. Eway looking for a charge. Has to go over Hush. He's got a wide open net, and he will score. Emmanuel Eway extend the goal streak. It's now 5-1.
A nice job there for St. Cloud State. Really good, just a kind of a quick regroup, and that was a chance right there where it wasn't with numbers coming down the field and working their way towards Hush. It was just Eway getting that ball right around midfield, stopping, pivoting, dishing it off to the side, and then busting downfield as quickly as he could. And then a beautiful pass coming in from right around midfield. Lands just outside the 18, right around the top of the arc, and a bit of a misplay by the goalkeeper Hush. And Eway just had all the net to look at right there as he buries.
Emmanuel Eway, 3 goals in as many games. Did not score in the first game of the season. Now is up to 6 points as well. And talk about a breakout player in the inaugural season for St. Cloud State. It's E-Man.
Yeah, it absolutely is. He leads the team in pretty much every statistical category. Shot attempts, shots on goal, goals, assists, points, all that good stuff. So, and that's kind of what you expect out of your lead attacker, your lead forward for St. Cloud State. That's kind of what the expectation is, and it's good to see him delivering. I'm sure Coach Holmes and these Husky fans would love to see Eway deliver a few more times here before we reach the conclusion of this one.
In the 58th minute, St. Cloud State gets on the board. Now Morningside looking to answer right away. Good opportunity there by the Mustangs, and Steiner able to pick up that ball on the far side of the 18 near the wing. Batum 1 will just pick up the ball that's dropped down by Steiner. Now St. Cloud State only trailing by 4 as opposed to 5. Sadie playing it upfield for Leonard. Leonard, hard pass over to the near side for Philip Caputo. Caputo looking to go give and go with Leonard, but Leonard overran the shot. Back here into the middle, Victor Becker. Becker through pass, looking for Tamala, and Steiner coming well out of the arc, being aggressive, and gets that one away. And Blake last week we saw these goalkeepers. It was Dawson Fairchild. Shouldn't say last week, earlier this week. On Wednesday against St. John's, Dawson Fairchild and Matthew Jenke both were very aggressive. And now we're seeing it for the first time here from Steiner.
Yeah, coming out almost near like that 20-yard line, almost on the football field. So well outside of the 18, but that was a good read. Again, that's some of the stuff we've seen from Steiner that we didn't see early on from Fairchild, was recognizing, like, okay, this attacker from Morningside is behind my defense, and there's no chance that anyone's going to come up and be able to catch this guy, and it's going to be one-on-one. So he makes the decision, makes that read to come out and just try and win the foot race to the ball, and does a fantastic job in doing so.
Kohlberg on the right wing gets the center. Tamala, good shot. Steiner diving and makes the save.
That was a great stop by Steiner, diving out to his right, gets that bottom hand down onto the ground, a low shot. Able to get a little bit of elevation on that Morningside, probably gets that one into the back of the net, but nice stop nonetheless.
Tamala looking for goal number 3. Mustangs have 5 right now. His third goal. But Steiner with a wonderful save, and now he will come out for Matthew Jenke.
Well, it was a pretty nice way to end your night right there if you're Gage Steiner. Couple of really nice saves, and Matthew Jenke now comes in. We've seen him, Sam, in that game against St. John's. He spent the last 2 seasons at North Iowa, in Mason City at the North Iowa Area College, but where he spent 13 games as their goalkeeper. But you mentioned he played that second half against St. John's. He made 4 saves, and Sam, his bio on the Huskies website, also Huskies Athletics website, says that he is a big golfer as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, very athletic guy, 3-sport athlete in high school, soccer, basketball, and golf. Not really a combination.
Went to state in golf as well back in 2017.
I wish I could say the same, but I could not. And now he's here at St. Cloud State, looking to help these Huskies, trying to continue on and dominate here in this second half.
It's been a much more back-and-forth kind of even-paced game, which is good to see out of St. Cloud State. Again, considering they're down a man, and in this second half, it hasn't looked so much so that they've been down a man. So they've done a much better job of connecting on those passes, which was the thing we said in the first half just was not working well for St. Cloud State. But they've done a better job defending, keeping the guys in front of them, keeping these Morningside attackers in front of them, and staying disciplined defensively.
Should preface, Noah Kantorowicz is the man you're referring to, being down after picking up a red card 5 minutes into the match. Now Robin Thamala on the charge up the left side on the wings. Has a defender right in his face here by St. Cloud State. He'll play it straight back for Kohlberg. Kohlberg over to the right side. Victor Becker, top of the attacking third here for Morningside. Becker thought about a long shot, and he'll play it over to the far corner now. Long cross coming. First attempt here towards the direction of Jenke. That was Robin Thamala looking to head that one into the back of the net, but he overjumped through it.
Yeah, nice job there by St. Cloud State, able to get that clear out. Now have some time here on the near side, a little bit of space to settle things down, get everyone into the right positions where you want to, and attempt to attack again and move forward.
25-30 left to go here in the second half. 5-1 Morningside. Goal scored here in the second half by Emmanuel Iwe into a wide-open net after Bjarne Huth was a little too aggressive coming out of the 6, and Iwe was able to take the ball away. Stoppage coming, and it looks like St. Cloud State will lose possession of the ball once again. Free kick coming here from Morningside, just quickly back into the middle of the field. Becker once again going back and forth. And the Huskies just looking to jump right at that St. C logo whenever we can.
Yeah, that's kind of the goal right here, is once the ball gets into that area, that's where they want to step up. The pressure needs to be applied, and opportunities are going to arise from right there.
Lush, some good footwork here on the left side of the field. He tries to go for a sharp angle shot. That one's on the side of the netting. So Jenke will set the ball down, and he'll get action rolling once again after that ball went out of play. 24-25 left to go here in the second half. Leonard slowly walking upfield. Long through pass, trying to find the direction of Emmanuel Iwe, just well heavy onto the feet of Huth. Mentioned it once again, St. Cloud State, this is their final regular season game that is not a part of the GLIAC play. They'll head to Davenport University coming up later on next week. That game is on September 17th. That's the Friday.
Yeah, a couple, they'll get that GLIAC schedule started out on the road, not with that long road trip out to Michigan. And Sam, that's one thing as well Coach Holmes talked about with that South Dakota trip. When they went to go take on South Dakota Mines, he wanted his guys to understand what a long road trip feels like. And he wanted that, 8-10 hour drive all the way out there because he knows that's what a lot of these road trips are going to be like. Playing in this conference, a lot of trips out to Michigan and to Indiana. I mean, they'll go from Davenport at Davenport University in Grand Rapids. Then they'll turn around 2 days later and they'll have to head on down to Purdue University Northwest. That's in Indiana. So a lot of time is going to be spent on the road. He wanted these guys to understand what that kind of grind is like, and what's sitting on a bus for 10 hours and then having to turn around and play a game right after that is like, and it is draining. And he had a couple of players as well admit to him, like, yeah, that was a little bit more than I kind of maybe expected it to be. I'm tired, I'm sore, and that's going to be expected. So he's trying to get his guys prepared for that before they head out to that first conference game.
Yeah, very good to schedule that Rapid City game out in South Dakota, and then you're going to be making your way out to the eastern side of the country, of the Midwest, we should say at least. And you were right, a couple of guys were jet-lagged by it, and that allowed some new practice things to come away here for St. Cloud State, just so they can prepare for these long games, and now they're going to need to make it all show and make it all come to work here starting next week when they get to the GLIAC schedule. Useni Suma over on the far side of the field, showing off some good moves. They got the crowd going there for just a moment, but taken away once again by Morningside College. It's been pretty quiet in action here for the past couple of minutes, Blake, after that goal by Emmanuel Iwe.
Yeah, a lot of the action happening here in the middle third. Neither of these two teams really generating much of anything. And as I say that, here goes Lush again for Morningside, driving play down into that attacking third.
Lush already with 2 goals back in the first half. And we are going to have another corner kick here for the Mustangs. St. Cloud State trailing 5-1 with 21 minutes left to go.
We'll see 6 substitutions come on here for Morningside. So
that's a full line change.
Yeah, that. Good job, Sam. Good job. That's your good hockey terminology. I'm proud of you on that one. That is a full line change for Morningside. And we talked about, we knew Sean Holmes was going to play a lot of his guys, and obviously on the other side of things here for Morningside, they're playing quite a few of their guys as well, and getting everybody in here before their conference schedule opens up as well.
Corner kick coming from the left side of the pitch. Taken high directly towards the way of Jenke, and good job by the St. Cloud State defense to keep that one away on the corner kick was Matthias Castellano.
And they'll get another one here as St. Cloud State played that one out again back behind their own end line. So another corner kick, same spot here on this near side.
Castellano lower this time, and it's booted out of play by Jakob Franmuller. Looked like Franmuller, in his head, thought he was closer to Jenke than what he really was. Wasn't too happy with that initial shot. Now Eddie Sadie and the Huskies will look to regain possession, make another push with just under 20 left to go here in the second half. Emmanuel Iwe scoring in the 58th minute. Morlock playing it up for Useni Suma. Suma did not play in that first half. Emmanuel Iwe looking to get around Marcus Matson. Over to Suma, and a costly turnover there.
Yeah, it's just been a lot of, it's less on the passes sometimes as well for St. Cloud State that aren't connecting, but there have been issues with controlling the pass when it gets to their feet. They've had a tough time, especially on some of the the harder balls that are kicked to them. The guy trying to receive that ball, it's just bouncing off his foot and then rolling away just a few 2 feet too far away from him and right onto the feet of a Morningside defender.
Crossing the 19-minute mark here in the second half. 5-1 Mustangs here on the Huskies home opener. First game at Husky Stadium in regular season play in program history. Loss of position there by Max Sickenberger. Didn't exactly know where the touchline was, so throw in coming here for Brian Alexander and St. Cloud State. Another substitution coming in. Eddie Sadie will come off. Nick Ashton will check in for the first time. Also coming off is Zenadine Croyton. And Jake Leonard will hop off the field as well.
It looks like about 3 or 4 new substitutions coming on here for St. Cloud State. Emmanuel Eway, the goal scorer, checking out as well. So a lot of these guys, Sadie, Eway, that have played quite a majority of this game, coming out here late in the second half.
First time today we'll see Chief Williams check in. As with Gael Natombwe. Now Williams charging from behind here at the middle third. Andreas Garcia in play as well. 17:47 left to go. St. Cloud State men's soccer here on 88.1 FM KVSC and the NSIC network. Great through pass, but Janke was right there, top of the 18 to boot it back into the middle. Chief Williams looking to go one-on-one. Got a foot on it. Now it's a foot race to try to stop that ball. Williams will say he did not touch it. So that will be a corner kick here for St. Cloud State. A good set piece, and I think Chief Williams did a good job of pleading his case there.
Well, yeah, and I think he just did a good job of forcing the issue right there for the Morningside defender that was on him, having to just kick that ball any way that he could to get it away from Chief Williams, who otherwise would have been in all alone on Huth. So forcing an opportunity here out of the corner, the 4th of the game for St. Cloud State.
Oseni Suma from the right side, headed away by Marcus Matson of Morningside College. Now Osuna will regain the long rebound, have to bring it back towards the 18. Good pressure applied by Wellfling on the far side of the field. Osuna there to pick up the ball once again. Oseni Suma. Some fancy footwork there by a Husky attacker. Trying to play it back for Nick Ashton. Now Morningside College with possession. Far side of the field. They have numbers. 2-on-2. Janke playing back in the net. Cross almost caught the foot of a streaking Mustang. Now St. Cloud State will pick it back up. Brian Alexander. 16-12 left to go here in this second half. 5-1 Morningside. St. Cloud State having a hard time keeping that ball away from Morningside after the past couple of corner kicks. Through pass looking for the feet of Becker, taken away by Jacob Morlock. Morlock on the right wing playing it up. And it's headed away by Morningside once again. We'll have a throw-in coming here for the Huskies into Ashton. Ashton and St. Cloud State working in their defending third, and Morlock sends this one high in the air. Just looking at flip field position. Crosses the touchline, so a throw-in coming here from the boys in the black kit.
It'll be interesting to see here, Sam, how St. Cloud State just goes the rest of this game. Looks like the St. Huskies will actually get possession here. No throw-in coming up for Morningside, but how aggressive do you really get? And, you look at the time on the clock, 4 goals with just under 15 minutes left in this game. Very difficult to achieve. So how aggressive do you really get? Do you just want to see how your players play in situations like this and try and stay within structure? Do you really go for a win and really engage everybody offensively and try and kind of push the tank all the way down and attack and play very aggressive here in the final 14 minutes?
Well, it looks like Coach Holmes is going to continue on with a couple of more substitutions here coming up a little bit later on in the half. 14:20 remaining in regulation. It's a 5-1 lead for the Morningside College Mustangs in the Huskies' home opener in their inaugural season. Cross field looking for Max Sickenberger. Sickenberger playing it back for Yannick Vogel. Vogel and Becker in the middle third. Chief Williams looking to apply the pressure. And Morningside just doing a good job of connecting on their passes here all match long, Blake, and keeping it away from St. Cloud State as much as they can. And when opportunities like this arrive, they'll look to capitalize. In the box, a lot of pressure by St. Cloud State. Becker in the arc, taken away by the Huskies. That was Nolan Pratumwan.
Yeah, that pass just about a foot or so behind Becker. He had to adjust to that one. He had an opportunity. There was space if the pass was in the right spot for him to be able to just take a step right into that one and have a good look from just inside the 18 there and from straight away. But fortunately for the Huskies, the pass off the mark that didn't allow him to attempt to bid towards the goal.
.13:07 remaining here in the second. Still 5-1 in favor of Morningside. Huskies able to put up one goal here in this second half in the 58th minute by Emmanuel Iwe. His third goal on the season. Riley Wood playing it up to the near side for Bryant Alexander. Huskies traveling left to right here in this second half in the white kits. Morningside in the black. Alexander overran the ball. Now Ashton has to get up to it. Some contact there as Riley Wood hits the deck. That ball's going to stay with St. Cloud State. Another set piece coming.
This from quite a bit of distance. They'll just pass it off. I was going to say it would be quite surprising if the Huskies try to bid towards the goal there on that one. Said they'll just try and advance it forward on that far side.
Well, one of the bigger changes that I've seen from watching plenty of Minnesota State high school league games and then coming here to the Division II level watching St. Cloud State, usually on those far set pieces, or really wherever the set pieces may be, they're always going towards the direction of the goal. Now St. Cloud State, Morningside, St. John's, South Dakota School of Mines, it's let's get the ball in play, let's keep the momentum going every time.
Yeah, that's one thing I was going to point out is because I was thinking right there, Sam, I remember a goal last year when we were doing a St. Cloud Tech game where, I forget who the player was or the situation in the game, but they booted one from about 50, 60 yards out towards the goal, and they scored on it. But, here at the collegiate level, you just don't see that. You're certainly right. They want to just, let's keep the play going. Let's move the ball. Let's try and get things moving forward rather than, kind of try what really is a desperation attempt.
Well, Morlock just dragged a Morningside forward down into the ground, calling a stoppage. Doesn't look like they'll get a card on that, but very similar to what we saw earlier in this match, forcing Noah Kantorowicz to pick up the red card. So we won't get a card here. Pleading the case is Isaac Gold.
I would argue that was maybe the most aggressive play that we've seen here so far today in this soccer game, Sam. It was definitely a bit of a drag down there on the backside.
Garcia getting the through ball passed by Morningside College. Now he's brought into the ground. And no card given there to Garcia, no other stoppage. Just a goal kick. 10:30 left to go here in the second half. Still 5-1 in favor of Morningside. First of many games here at Husky Stadium for St. Cloud State University men's soccer. First of many here at Husky Stadium on 88.1 FM KVSC as well.
Yeah, you mentioned that, Sam. All the home games come in a nice long stretch in the middle of that conference schedule. We talked about a couple of road games coming up here for St. Cloud State in Davenport and then against Purdue University Northwest. But after that, they come home. They get 7 in a row in GLIAC play. So I've had coaches in other sports tell me sometimes they'd rather start on the road, sharpen up the product a little bit, and then come home and show the fans really what a sharpened product looks like. And that's maybe what St. Cloud State has an opportunity to do here. They'll open up that next home game on the 24th against Northwood University. That's a noon start time here at Husky Stadium. They'll play Saginaw Valley State as well after that, just a few days later on the 26th. Also noon start time. Those are the two home games coming up still here in this month, but it's a stretch of 7 consecutive home games, and that's a chance right there as well where you can really build some momentum and carry it in and try and carry that into that second half of the season where they end with 5 straight on the road.
Just a touch over 9 minutes left to go here in the second half. 5-1 Morningside. Pratumwan playing it back for Morlock. Morlock over to the far side for Oseni Suma. Suma, cross field. Going towards the direction of Brian Alexander. He'll control it here in the middle third. Austin Plumhoff checks in for the first time. Freshman midfielder here for St. Cloud State. Did not see him in the first half. Morlock, middle third, up for platoon one. Now back over to Morlock once again on the right side of the field. Morlock slowly taking his time, looking to cross it over for Chief Williams. Williams got it caught up in the bottom of his feet. 8:26 left to go here in the half. Besides that big chance there in the goal by Emmanuel Iwe, have not seen a lot of great opportunities by either team here in the second half, Blake.
No, it's been much more defensively sound for both squads as the Huskies have outscored the Mustangs here 1-0 in this second half, and maybe Morningside not pressing necessarily offensively with the comfortable lead, but still there hasn't been a whole lot of anything. I remember a couple of Morningside corner kicks. The Huskies have had a few as well, but nothing's really materialized off of them, and those have probably been the best opportunities for either side here so far in this second half outside of that Iwe goal.
And St. Cloud State in the match on Wednesday against St. John's University, defense in the second half was the main reason why they won that match. And St. John's had a couple of great rushes, some good opportunities in the last minute, nearly scored on a corner kick. But Matthew Janke, who's in goal right now for St. Cloud State, was able to make a dominant save. So you got to imagine the first half for St. Cloud State and the first couple of matches here in central Minnesota that we've seen have been kind of a feeling out process. And then the second half is much more defensive, lock it down. 7 minutes remaining here in this second half. Still 5-1 Morningside. Just touched on it. Not a lot of opportunities besides that Emmanuel Iwe goal that happened back in the 58th minute. Riley Wood brings the ball up to the 31-yard line on the football field, then kicks it crossfield for Jacob Morlock. Oseni Suma watches that one from Morlock just roll past his feet, out of play into the Husky bench, and now the Mustangs will have a throw-in. Light throw-in, platoon one, applying pressure. Him and Andreas Garcia looking for some help, and platoon one drags one Mustang down, and we'll get a set piece coming here for Morningside College, playing it straight back over to Huth. Six minutes left to go here in regulation. Morningside looking to just hold on to possession as much as they can, not allow St. Cloud State to get back into the goal tally. Good pressure put on there by Plumhoff, and now here comes Chief Williams and the Huskies up the right side. Plumhoff spinning away from one defender, trying to get back down over to Williams. That one's kicked out of the touchline. Bryant Alexander will throw in.
There's just another situation right there, though, Sam, where that pass is just about a foot or so off, that pass from Williams to Plumhoff, and that really just kind of slowed things down, made it a little bit clunky, and Plumhoff almost made a phenomenal kind of spinning play to get back to that ball before it was kicked out of bounds by Morningside. But it just seems like passes are just the smallest margin off right now. It just doesn't seem very sharp for St. Cloud State in terms of the way the ball is just coming off the foot in general for most of these pass attempts, because that was a really nice look right there. Two guys working off of a defender, an opportunity to get yourself with a man driving towards the net and someone coming down on that far side of the pitch. But again, just a little bit off, and it's kind of been the story of the game here for St. Cloud State.
Morningside crossing into the 18, and Alexander boots it out of play as far as he can. Quick throw in here by the Mustangs on the right side. Marcus Madsen playing it over. Charlie Pritchard just checked in to this second half once again for SCSU. Now back over to the left side of the field for Max Sickenberger. Sickenberger with pressure on him on Plumhoff. Plumhoff has looked fairly well here in the second half.
Yeah, he's done a good job. He's gotten a couple of really good touches. He's been able to kind of create something out of nothing a few different times and create some turnovers.
Now here comes platoon one, head of steam, getting around one defender. Williams to the outside. He'll get the center. Williams looking to settle it down. Madsen gets it out of the way, and that crosses the touchline on the far side of the field. Good chance there by St. Cloud State. Ball just bouncing a little bit too much in the 18. Chief Williams couldn't calm it down.
Yeah, it was a tough pass, and Williams did a good job to knock it down at first, but then he got the knockdown and went down to the turf, bounced up probably about 10, 15 feet in the air, and at that point that allowed enough time for the Morningside defender to collapse in on him and take away that time and space that he did have, and the ball gets cleared out.
Just 3 minutes left in St. Cloud State's program home opener, trailing by 4 to the Morningside College Mustangs. Morningside with possession, playing it back for Huth. Huth inside of the 18, over to Marcus Matson. Matson in the defending third here for Morningside. Looking to extend their overall record to 3-1 on the season with back-to-back-to-back wins if they can continue to cap off this 5-1 lead here in the final 3 minutes. Good chance there. Looked to be by Moritz Lush. Janke diving inside of the 6, but it rolled well past.
Yeah, a good bid there from Lush, considering the position of the field that he was in. Very tough angle on the right side, trying to push things in towards Janke. Janke has not been tested much, Sam, since he came into this game. I think it's been very difficult to evaluate and judge the way that he's played, considering the looks that lack of looks, I should say, that he hasn't seen. I think he's done a good job staying square to the ball, but again, not a whole lot of pressure and traffic being applied in front of him.
Janke with it in the 18, plays it up for Morlock. Coming up next for Morningside College, they will take on Presentation, a South Dakota NAIA program. After that, Jamestown as well. St. Cloud State, we've touched on it. Davenport University coming up next Friday. That's in Grand Rapids, Michigan. 6 o'clock start. That's a GLIAC conference game, the first ever conference game for St. Cloud State. A lot of firsts throughout the season, which is one of the many fun things watching the St. Cloud State men's soccer program just build up a dynasty.
Yeah, it just kind of builds up that anticipation. I mean, when you can almost sell everything as this, it's the first this, right? And so it creates excitement just in general when you can say it's the first time that whatever, fill in the blank is going to happen. And it builds that excitement, that anticipation for the first season.
Now, Johannes Lang had a great stretch pass for him, and he will be called offsides. He boots the ball away, and we will see the first yellow card on Morningside. Yeah, just can't really do that, run that far offsides, and then just put it through the uprights.
Yeah. I mean, it was because he kicked that ball, about probably 40, 50 yards through the uprights. A couple of football teams might want to give him a call if he's free as well on Saturdays. But, right there, just kind of a bit of an undisciplined play, the first card being pulled against Morningside. Of course, St. Cloud State with the 2 cards on them already today. The yellow card, that was assessed to Eddie Sadie, and then that red card in the 6th minute to Kantorowicz. That's kind of, in part, maybe been the story of this game and the reason that the score is as lopsided as it is.
1 minute left to go here in regulation. Chief Williams from the arc. Long shot. That one missing well wide of the net.
It looked like Williams just didn't catch that one cleanly at all.
And it may have rolled off one of the defenders for Morningside College. So a corner kick coming. Plumoff will take this one here from the right side. High kick into the 6, batted away by the goalkeeper. Pritchard to Garcia inside of the arc. Now Ashton, shot on the ground, misses left. 27 seconds left to go here in regulation.
That was maybe the best set piece of the day for St. Cloud State, able to generate a look, a second chance look. Obviously, you don't get the header on the ball swinging through, but that ball comes down. The Huskies control it, and then you get that shot that, granted, it does miss, but those are the opportunities that you have to have and that you look for.
3, 2, 1, and the St. Cloud State men's soccer home opener does not go in the direction that the Huskies want, but a lot to learn from this 5-1 loss to the Morningside College Mustangs. The final buzzer rings, and St. Cloud gave a lot of effort, especially in that second half. Just the first half with a lot of bad breaks is where it got to them.
Yeah, it just got tough. It was losing the man early on and not having time or an opportunity for Coach Holmes to adjust. You have to adjust on the fly when you get that red card in the first couple of minutes, and it's not really a situation that maybe these guys were ready for yet. It's something you prepare for, obviously, but St. Cloud State hadn't been red carded yet. They haven't played a man down at all yet this season, so there are probably certainly situations. That was a situation that they have not been in game-like situations. Maybe those are things you work on during practice and whatnot like that, but kind of put them behind the 8 ball early on. You saw the back line get exposed early on and kind of mishaps and situational miscues, and that led to the first few goals being put up pretty early on by Lush, and then after that it just kind of snowballed, and St. Cloud State really could never get back. But that second half, like you said, Sam, very good for St. Cloud State. They outscore Morningside 1-0 in the final 45, and I think a large part of that was the adjustments that Coach Holmes was able to communicate to his team a little bit more clearly during that halftime break, being down a man.
So with the 5-1 loss to Morningside College, St. Cloud State now drops their overall record to 1-2-1. And that's something head coach Sean Holmes is not too worried about at the moment, because these games don't count towards the GLIAC conference standings, and those are the games that really matter.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said. He said, obviously you'd love to win every game, right? But he said the most important thing, and maybe part of the reason why he said he wants to get a lot of guys out here today, is because at the end of the day, especially at this Division II level, the most important thing is winning your conference, right? That's what carries the most weight in terms of rankings and polls and doing well in your conference. So, if you're going to lose games, if you're going to go through your struggles, now's the time to be down if you're going to be down, right? And then you look to improve in that conference play. So, obviously some improvements and some adjustments need to be made for St. Cloud State, but all in all, you look at the exhibition games, you look at these 4 non-conference games for them, there's some positives and some negatives. So, lots of stuff to be done for St. Cloud State before that game against Davenport University, but I'm sure Coach Holmes and this team is looking forward to getting out on the road and getting the GLIAC season started.
Morningside College pushes their overall record to 3-1 on the year. They are on a 3-match win streak. St. Cloud State's 1-match win streak comes to an end tonight with a 5-1 loss to the hands of the Mustangs. Blake, I think that's all we can say here from Husky Stadium. It's been a lot of fun. The first home match for St. Cloud State. First time they get to play here in regular season play in their home opener. I had a great time. I imagine you did as well.
I did as well. It was a great night.
Beautiful night here in central Minnesota. A lot to learn for the St. Cloud State men's Huskies, who are back in action against Davenport University coming up next Friday when they start up the GLIAC. After that, a couple of days later on September 19th, they take on Purdue University Northwestern. That's in Hammond, Indiana, another GLIAC competition. And then on the 24th, so a couple of weeks from now, Northwood University comes back, and St. Cloud State is actually tied with them in 6th place in the GLIAC. And Northwood University will come here to Husky Stadium. We'll have that on 88.1 FM.
Yeah, we'll have that one over here at 7 o'clock as well. Again, that's on the 24th, and that's the beginning of that long homestand of 7 consecutive home games for the Huskies. So lots of time here before, the fans have a chance to come back and watch this team, and hopefully the next time they come out, the fans, that is, the Huskies come out with a bit better of an effort and a victory as well here at home.
Absolutely. So that will do it for us. For Blake Tyson, I'm Sam Getzinger. We'll send it back into the studio with Sydney Wolf. She'll give you a full look at the scoring recap and some of the numbers here from the St. Cloud State men's soccer home opener. Thank you so much for joining us from Husky Stadium. We'll send it back over to Sydney Wolf coming up after this. All right, thank you.